a bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. And we seem to be having some minor technical glitches. I want to make sure that everyone can see and hear me before I rip into what has just happened in the last 15 minutes or so. So if somebody can, one of the blue wrenches in here can give me a thumbs up or something like that, if things seem to be working, if you guys can see me and hear me and all that good stuff, I would definitely appreciate it. So waiting for a comment to pop in here with confirmation that things are good. Okay, I see a couple of thumbs up. Very good, very good. Thank you guys. I definitely appreciate that. So I have been working diligently all day at my actual job. And I finally stepped away to try to grab something to eat. I checked my phone and there was a series of messages in my Instagram. And one of them was from this shop right here. Let me throw this up real quick on screen. It was from, where is it? Right here. This shop right here. Aegis Comics of Alaska. And for those that remember, the co-owner, Lou, was on the show last week, and we spent some time talking about what is happening with Diamond. And Lou expressed a lot of different thoughts over the course of our conversation. And Lou and his co-owner, his wife, Amy, reached out to me a short while ago to provide me with a little bit of some insight that I want to share with you guys right now. And Lou's comment to me was that it seemed as if Diamond had watched the show last week because they were playing back to him a lot of what he had spoken about on the call. So I have a bunch of notes here, and I'm going to on the fly kind of construct this thing maybe in a way that actually makes sense. But as the title of this live stream conveys, Diamond is doing damage control right now. Diamond is in the process of reaching out to individual retailers to talk with them about the situation. For those that don't know, the situation is that Marvel has decided to end its exclusive distribution deal with Diamond and to move towards Penguin. And Diamond can still distribute Marvel comics, but they will essentially become a customer of Penguin. They will no longer get books directly from Marvel. So this change affects Diamond and also LCSs in a lot of different ways. And so I wanted to provide just a little bit of context there. But this representative from Diamond reached out to Amy, the co-owner of Aegis, and she basically said, hey, you need to call Lou. They actually called Lou to talk with him about the situation. And one of the things that Lou said to me is that this is very different from maybe the way the Diamond would have handled things in the past. In the past, they would have made that one phone call and stopped right there. But the fact that they called multiple times, actually got him on the line, and then spent time talking with him, he took that as a positive sign. But over the course of this conversation, Lou was able to uncover a lot of things that were directly implied, but also things that he derived based upon just the conversation and the tone and texture of the conversation. His comment to me, and I think that this is an important one, is that they spent time talking about the discount that is something that retailers depend upon. The 50% discount that retailers get from Diamond is essentially their margin. That's how they make their money, right? Diamond sells it for 50 cents less or 50% less. They mark it up that 50%. They take that home, right? So one of Lou's big questions and thoughts was around what happens to the discount. Because Diamond no longer gets books directly from Marvel, they will be a customer of Penguin. There is a chance that they will no longer have the exact same discount that they had before, the 50% discount. To this point, the representative from Diamond says that the discount may actually drop to somewhere between 35 and 45%. The challenge is that they don't know what the percent is right now because they are still in negotiation with Penguin. And supposedly they are having some positive interactions and conversations with Penguin about the contract. And so it is to be determined what this discount may look like, whether it's 35 or 45 or something else. But those are the numbers that this representative conveyed to Lou. And what he basically said is that what essentially I think they're going to try to do is to maybe keep the retailers whole as much as possible by discounting other things that the retailer may be buying from Diamond. So for example, they can't give them the full discount on the Marvel books because they don't get the discount on the Marvel books, but they may give them a little bit more on a Scout comic or an Image comic or whoever else's comic that the retailer happens to be getting. They'll give them a little bit more discount on that side to make them still whole. And in addition to that, part of the discount will also be in the shipping as well. And I've spoken to some retailers that say, LCSs that say shipping isn't all that expensive, but every little, or isn't that expensive, but every little bit helps, I think. So essentially, they are saying that the discount to be somewhere between 35 to 45% to be determined. And it will be a combination of shipping discounts as well as other products that are being purchased by the LCS. And so again, this is new information that we are just now receiving, that I wanted to make sure that I kind of conveyed on to you guys. And again, it sounds like Diamond is having ongoing conversations with Penguin to try to figure out what their contract looks like moving forward, what kind of discount, what kind of terms, all that kind of stuff. They are in the process of negotiating some of that stuff. One of the other big things that came out of Lou's conversation with this retailer with Diamond that he communicated to me was that Diamond seems to be well aware of the challenges that they face with their warehouse in terms of the quality control issues, right? In terms of things being stuffed in boxes, things being damaged while in transit. They seem to be well aware of that. And basically what this representative said to Lou is that because we don't, and I'm paraphrasing, because we don't have the crushing work of managing and maintaining and storing Marvel's inventory, it actually now allows us to focus on some other things that are important, like getting our house in order. And so because, again, they were the exclusive distributor for Marvel, that just meant that they got a lot of books that they had to bring in, that they had to store, that they had to warehouse, that they then had to pack and ship out. Without all of that inventory and all of that responsibility weighing down on them, it now frees them up to be able to do some other things. Now, is this turning lemon into lemonade? Yes, it is. But instead of having a woe is me attitude, they are at least saying, we hear you, we acknowledge what you're saying, and we are thinking about ways to actually fix our issues in terms of improving what happens inside the warehouse. Now, in addition to that, this person also said that they are looking at spending this extra time that they have to improve their software. And I'm guessing it's the ordering software that LCSs actually use, as well as improving the quality of their website as well. So they're basically like, look, we know that our house is a bit messy, but give us a little time. We're going to try to put things back in order. And we're also going to try to make you whole with this discount that you've grown accustomed to that allows you to keep your own doors open. So a lot of, I think, positive stuff coming out of this conversation. And the fact that Diamond is making proactive outreach to LCSs is a good sign. Maybe it is a sign that they are able to humble themselves in the wake of something that could have been disastrous, and they're humbling themselves and acknowledging that they're not perfect and trying to do things to save their customer base. Because at the end of the day, and Lou said this, no one wants Diamond to go out of business. No one wants it. That's not good. And so maybe this is a sign, this damage control that they're doing is a sign that they are not going to go out of business, that they're going to be here, and that maybe they will actually shape up, which will be beneficial for everybody. It'll be beneficial for everybody in the end. So I want to go to the chat here real quick because I've been kind of ripping it off here because I wanted to get it out of my head while it was fresh in my head. So let me see. Thank you, Tina. I definitely appreciate that. What is this? Desire Comic says market pressures forced Diamond to eat humble pie. I'm not shocked. You know, I am. I am a little shocked because, and here's the thing, and I say that because in the face of something bad happening, you have an opportunity to acknowledge that you messed up, or you can pretend like you did nothing wrong, right? And maybe hubris is something that they're recognizing isn't the right approach, and they are humbling themselves a little bit. But I honestly am a little surprised by it. I am, especially if you consider the statement that they issued where they were like, you know, the statement that was issued was a little tone deaf, in my opinion. This conversation is more of an acknowledgement that they can improve and that they have a willingness and desire to improve. To me, that is a very positive sign. That is a very positive sign. Juggernaut, it's totally a good thing, but don't think they'll be in the position they were in before. No, and I don't think that they will be. I don't think that they will be. But what I will say is none of us, and you would probably agree with this, none of us know what the future holds, right? They could, you know, suffer these losses and improve things and, you know, be fine for the next 10 years. And then maybe Marvel or DC will come back to them after a period of time. We don't know what the future holds, right? But they may never be what they were before, but hopefully they can be better. And at the end of the day, I think that that's really what we're aiming for. DC Niall says Diamond got too fat. It was a fat diamond. Time to lose some weight. Sometimes you have to take off a few LBs and get yourself together, eat a little humble pie, you know, and make some magic happen. Here we go. Aegis is in the house. Amy, how you doing? She says, legit. If they can get their shipping practices under control, it would be awesome. There we go. That's what's up. Fingers crossed that they can actually get it. Matt Woods is jumping in here. He says, Diamond really waited too long. The writing was on the wall. Why did they have to wait for the course correction? Sometimes, brother, humble pie is not a dish that you want to eat. You know, I'll be completely honest. In my professional career, I've had these stretches where everything is just perfect. I can do no wrong. Everything I do, every presentation I give, every piece I created, every person that worked for me was just killing it, right? You start to get a little arrogant thinking that you are perfect. And occasionally when you hit that wall and you realize that you're not perfect, that you are capable of making mistakes, it is a very humbling thing. But in that period beforehand, brother, you are flying high. You're like, I can't be touched. I can do whatever I want. This is maybe where Diamond was. And maybe as a result of hitting this wall and eating a little bit of humble pie, they will be on a different course. That is going to be a very good course. So only time will tell. So it's one of those things, man, where I say, you know, because my previous stuff is fitness. One of the questions I always ask people is, why do you make the transition into eating better and exercising? And so often people would say, because somebody had a heart attack, or I had a heart attack, or I was diagnosed with diabetes, or if my doctor said if I didn't do this, I was going to have to do this other thing. Sometimes we need a wake-up call to do what it is that we know we should do, but choose not to do. So I wanted to tie in the fitness thing, because that is a really applicable thing that I think a lot of folks can relate to, right? So I wanted to make sure that I throw that out there. Homegrown was like, I love humble pie. Do you have ice cream with that? Do you have ice cream with your humble pie? What is this? Clay says, I hope Penguins boxes are just as good as Diamonds. Sidians is cracking on the fact that my children are back at home. That's why I went online early, because my children were coming in. So I wanted to make sure that I squeezed that in there. Hydra is saying, first, Marvel needs to sort out the paper issue. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Again, humble pie is a dish maybe best served with like really good ice cream. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would agree with you, brother, especially when you look at some of the paper that comes out from like a Blaze, or if you look at what comes out from a Bad Idea or Boom Studios, where their paper quality is really, really impressive. It is, there you go. To quote Reggie, sometimes in education is facts. These are facts. Doug, you're always spot on, brother. Scrolling through some of the comments, I want to put that one back up there because I just think that was a hilarious. All education is expensive because it's worth it. Well said, my friend, right there. If they didn't improve when they were in a monopoly and were in a financially superior, strong position, then what would make you think that they can improve now? Because they are not in a monopoly anymore, and because they're not in a financially strong situation. Fear of failure is a wonderful motivator to make people wake up and realize that what they've been doing is wrong, right? Let's take it back to something a little more relevant. All of us can probably exercise a little bit more, eat a little more healthy, and drink a little bit more water, but we don't do it. Why? We don't do it, right? And maybe we'll do it if someone around us has a health scare, or we have a health scare, we have that conversation with our doctor. It is very hard to sometimes course correct yourself when there's nothing forcing you to do something different. And the fact that they are not flying high, the fact that they've had to shut down one of their forward distribution centers, the fact that they have lost their two largest customers is a huge wake-up call. And they have a choice. They have a choice to remain arrogant and probably go out of business, or eat some humble pie and make some corrections. And based upon what I'm hearing from the folks up in Alaska at Aegis, they are starting to maybe signal that they are willing to make some changes. And again, fear of failure is a wonderful motivator to getting people to do some things that maybe they need to do. Big Will is in the house. How you doing, brother? The doctor stuff is fresh on my mind because my wife said to me last night, it's almost time for your annual physical. And I said, no, I'm healthy as a horse. I don't need to go to the doctor. So thank you, brother. I mean, again, I try to make this stuff relevant. And whether it's business or it's fitness, there are a lot of different things that we can pull in to help give a little bit of context for some of this stuff. There you go. Well said, Niles. It says flying too long on autopilot, you'll eventually hit a wall. Well said, especially if you're not bringing in new blood into an organization and you're just doing what you've always done because it's always worked, and you're not, introducing new people or being open to new things. And if you're still making money, you're like, why do I need to invest this money over here? Because this website is good enough. Our software, not perfect, but they're still ordering. Who cares, right? Competition, and we've spoken about this before. Competition is a good thing in a lot of respects. So scrolling through some of the comments here, survival, man, I'm telling you, if here's the thing. I always tell people, I like to eat, and I like nice stuff. That is a wonderful motivator for me to do some of the things that I need to do, right? My kids like to eat. They tear stuff up, man. That stuff's got to be replaced. That stuff's not free. Makes you work hard. You guys are hilarious. All right, so for anybody that is coming in a little late, I want to do a little recap here. My friends over at Aegis Comics up in Alaska, specifically Amy and Lou. Lou was on the show just last week. They reached out to me and provided me with a little bit of insight into a conversation that they had earlier today with a representative from Diamond. And over the course of this conversation with Diamond, there was an acknowledgement that they have some room to improve some things in how they've been operating. And there seems to be a willingness and a desire to actually change some of the things that we all are aware of. And so over the course of this conversation, one of the big things that was discussed was the discount that is given to LCSs, the 50% discount that allows LCSs to stay in business. That is a huge thing. Now that Diamond is going to be a customer of Penguin, there is an expectation that that discount will get a lot smaller, right? Because they're trying to retain these customers, right? These LCSs Diamond is. that discount is probably going to get smaller because they're not going to be getting that big of a discount. So they can't pass the savings on, if you will. So over the course of this conversation, what the representative from Diamond communicated to Lou is that the discount may be somewhere between 35 and 45%, right? And they're going to kind of spread it. They're going to kind of spread that discount around to basically say, look, I can't give you that maybe on Marvel, but if you're also ordering some of these other things from other publishers like Scout Comics or Image Comics or whoever else they're also distributing, we're going to save you a couple of extra dollars there to make up for it on this side. We're also going to save you a little bit of money on your shipping as well. So they're basically saying, don't leave us, LCSs. Stick with us. We're going to try to keep you whole. Maybe not 100%, but we're going to try to get as close as possible. And at the same time, we are also going to improve some of these things that you have been complaining about. And so basically what this person said is that they're going to spend some time improving the quality of their shipping in the warehouse. They're going to try to improve their ordering portal as well as their website and enhance these things to a standard that is probably that to raise it to a standard that it needs to be at for an organization of Diamond size, right? So they and one of the things that they also said to Lou was that, look, we were getting crushed under the weight of storing, managing, shipping Marvel's books every single month, right? You have to imagine that that's a lot of inventory that is coming in and has to be sorted, packed up, stored somewhere, shipped out over here. That's a lot. And basically what they're saying is, look, we don't like the fact that we just lost Marvel, but we lost Marvel. And now that we have some extra time, we're going to try to improve some of these things that we know and you know need to be improved, right? So they're basically trying to put a positive spin on it, but in a good way, right? And what Lou said to me was, he said, and I wrote it down, this didn't sound fake. He says, I felt like they actually meant the things that they were saying. And again, I think that that's a good thing, because if you've ever met an LCS owner, you know that they are not necessarily pushovers, right? They ask hard questions. They ask probing questions. They push. And Lou is not a pushover, right? So if he's saying he felt like this was a genuine kind of conversation, again, you would assume that either this person was a really great liar or he actually meant it. And so I'm going to choose to believe that he meant it and that Lou read it the right way and that Diamond is actually trying to improve. So fingers crossed, because at the end of the day, nobody wants Diamond to go out of business. All right. So I wanted to give that little corporate Kool-Aid. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update for those people that came in a little bit late. Shout out to everybody that's here. What is this? Moonlit Comics. He says, hey, Reggie, everyone popping in for a moment, but plan to catch most of this on replay. Nothing wrong with that, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Shelby Comics, how you doing? Drop one of those G's in that, Reggie, and you are very welcome for answering your question last week. Always try to make myself available to help people out. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you, man. I have not seen you in a while, bro. Welcome. Who is this? Blue Drink says, if Diamond gets their act together, the dollar bin at my local comic shop will get at least you have a dollar bin. Is there a 9.6 back there? Let me look. Hold on. There are no 9.6s back there. That is a 9.8 wall back there. And he's probably like, made you look. Scrolling down in the comments here. What is it? Oh, yeah, greed is good. Greed is good. What is this? They can take notes from the experiences they have ordering from Penguin to improve. Or they can also look at, what is it? Is it Lunar? Is Lunar still doing it? Because people seem to have positive things to say about Lunar and how they pack things. So, here, I don't know if there's much science involved with shipping. I think that there's some important processes that have to be put in place, but I don't think it's like rocket science. I think that they probably know what the right things are to do, but they're just not doing them for whatever reason. So again, fingers crossed that this actually serves as a wake-up call for them. Brother, you are very welcome. And again, I'm giving a shout out to these guys right here, man, because I didn't know this. I didn't know that this conversation actually took place. Lou, the co-owner of Aegis, actually reached out to me and gave me a download. So shout out to those guys up in Alaska. They're doing some good work. He was calling me from his truck because he's driving back from the airport with his diamond shipment in the car. So he is doing some good work up there. So scrolling through the comments, Lunar and their shipping is superior. There you go. See what I'm saying? And again, this is Amy. Amy is the co-owner of Aegis. I'm not making this stuff up, right? Some of the stuff that I say about this type of stuff literally comes from the many conversations that I have with shop owners. Part of it is speculation sometimes, but a lot of it really comes from these folks that give me great insight information. My man, Kevin, how you doing, bro? It is good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through, Lunar packaging is spot on. Ratios are bagged and boarded. How about that? How about bagging and boarding a special comic? You know what I'm saying? Versus just throwing it in the box and being like, you get what you get, right? So what is this? It would be fitting for Penguin to distribute DC Comics. So here's the thing. One other thing I want to mention Lou pointed this out to me is that we have to remember that Diamond has access to Marvel's inventory still, but they also have access to DC's inventory as well. And I don't know what the ordering process looks like, but I don't know if they still get books directly from DC in addition to Lunar. It doesn't sound like they're a customer of Lunar, but I could be wrong about some of that stuff. There's a couple of shop owners in here that may drop some comments in there to give us a little bit of insight into that one. So, check some of that stuff out. But yeah, you know, part of it, man, part of it is this. Is it? And hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. Is it better that we actually have multiple companies servicing LCSs and that those LCSs have options, right? Because potentially by having different distributors handle different publishers, no one person is under the entire crushing weight of the entire industry. Right? We're spreading it out. We're maybe making it more complicated in some respects, but at least now you have options and you don't just have to go to Diamond or Penguin or Lunar. You get your books from a few different places, and those few different places can still get some of the other books that you might be looking for. So while it may seem messy, while it may seem disjointed, it might actually be a healthier situation for the market overall, because let's remember, people complained about Diamond being a monopoly, a monopoly that was created by Marvel and by DC. Now we have things structured a little bit differently, and maybe it's actually a good thing because, again, now you have some competition. Now you have some options. Now you have people vying for your business and trying to win that business. It might actually turn out to be a good thing. And again, I'm making this part up literally as I'm saying it. So feel free to disagree with me because I'm not an expert. I am just a guy with a really nice microphone. Let me scroll through some of the comments here. I think just because of Penguin on Batman, it would be hilarious for them to distribute DC only for the Batman connection, but it would be hilarious. Well said, my friend. Steve says more competition. The distributors will have to work harder. Again, it could be a good thing, right? I mean, I think it's Penguin is basically saying that they're going to give LCSs. I don't know if it's one book or a couple of books, but it's going to be a special John Romita Jr. book when they create an account. That was something that I heard from one of my LCS owners the other day, that when a shop signs up with Penguin, they are going to get a junior book. And I don't know if it's that one cover that we saw the other day with like Moon Knight on it and all of the other characters. I'm not quite sure what it looks like. But again, that was one of the things that I heard that I wanted to kind of throw out to you guys. So scrolling through some of the comments here, I don't know anything about a TV show, and it would not surprise me, man. It would not surprise me if Boom Studios is getting that turned into a movie. Boom is strategically located in LA. They have relationships for movies and also TV shows, two different options for those different things. It would not surprise me if we got a Something is Killing the Children TV show. I would not be surprised by it at all. I want to do the voice for the little thing, the little octopus. I want to do the voice for that. I don't know if that thing speaks, but I want a gig. Okay, I just want a gig. Let me see. Scrolling through some of the other comments here. There you go. A couple of comments right there. Competition is always the answer for higher quality. Fingers crossed, man. They break it out again. They rolled up into a monopoly, then they get broken out again. Crotchio. For those that don't remember, this is a cover that has Moon Knight in the crotchal region of Captain America. I mean, it was a like strategic spot in which he actually sat. We define that as the crotchal region. So still not competing with each other. Penguin and Lunar both sold, Marvel and DC, then that would be competition. Well, I guess what I'm referring to is the fact that technically Diamond can still get DC and Marvel. Technically, they still can. And if customers, LCSs, choose to still order from Diamond, then that would mean that they are competition for Lunar and Penguin. That's how I'm interpreting it. Yeah, they're still getting Penguin is still getting a little bit of the money, but if Diamond still retains the customer, then again, in my mind, that is still competition. But maybe I don't fully appreciate all how the industry works, because there is direct competition and indirect competition, and I can definitely see Diamond doing damage control right now to retain customers and to prevent those customers going over to Penguin, which in my mind is direct competition for them. Scrolling through some of the comments here, I collect again when that is never going to happen. Never going to happen. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Milt's coming off the top. He's saying, I don't really care who ships my book to an LCS as long as the price doesn't go up and the books aren't damaged. Is that asking? No, sir. No, sir, you are not asking too much. And I like it when people cut to the chase. The problem is I can't do a show if I just cut to the chase. I have to do some other stuff, Milt. You know that, brother. All right. So with that said, though, I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me a little bit. Again, huge shout out to the folks at Aegis Comics for putting me in the know as to what was happening with Diamond and this damage control that they're doing. For those that are paying attention, the owner has not yet claimed this book. We are giving this book away. It has been, we raffled it off, if you will, and it has not been claimed yet. So this book is still up for the taking for that person that needs to claim it. And if not, on Sunday, we'll give it away to someone else. This is this week's book. It is Carnage Mind Bomb, issue number 9.8 with white pages. And just as a reminder, I did release another video earlier today. It is the top 10 most submitted books into CGC. It is a really awesome video. I think maybe even mistake-free video, right? So if you have a chance, check it out. And you can see as a leading indicator, all of the books that we are sending into CGC that at some point will come out on the other side as a book that is available for people to buy and to sell. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely wanted to encourage you guys to check that out. All right. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And as always, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.